This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good day, welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. These are the top stories we're tracking. Exxon seeks permit to drill 35 new wells in Stabroek Block. Exact locations not identified. EPA orders cumulative impact assessment. World Bank warns poorly managed oil and gas sector a recipe for economic and social struggles. COVID-19 kills 102-year-old woman, 42 new cases, and 2 persons in ICU. Medical Council files police report against fake doctor, could face up to 18 months behind bars if convicted, and woman strangled in Madia. Police hunt destitute man she provided shelter for. Cops stoned while trying to arrest truck driver, and EPA is still hiding information on Exxon's flaring, says Alfred Boulay. Stay tuned to stay informed.
Crazy. It's easy like 1, 2, 3. Can't believe all this money for me, money for me. I got to get the CASH. That's the code for the vault, so let's play. Top up with 1,000 and the next day you could be a millionaire. Did you say?
More than 15 million to grab this summer. Top up with $1,000 or more to collect the letters to spell CASH.
For a chance to catch millions in the Digicel's cash vault.
Top up today.
Digicel.
And now for the news in detail. ESSO has submitted an application to the EPA to launch another 35-well drilling campaign in the resource-rich Stabroek Block, offshore Guyana. The project summary for the ambitious campaign was uploaded to the regulator's website on Friday last, while the screening report compiled to the EPA for the project was uploaded on the said day, but amended and updated on Sunday. The document explains that ESSO, the Stabroek Block operator, is acting on behalf of itself and CNOC and HES in seeking environmental authorization to carry out the activities. Notably, the exact locations of the 35 exploration or appraisal wells comprising the project have not yet been finalized. If discoveries are found at particular locations, it is understood that subsequent wells could be drilled in the vicinity of such locations to further assess the commerciality of the discoveries. As such, ESSO outlined that its priorities and schedules could therefore change. The oil company said it will continue to submit the well information necessary to obtain approval for an environmental permit from the EPA. Meanwhile, Guyana has been a natural resources dependent country for decades, but it never established resource management and planning tools such as a sovereign wealth fund. This was pointed out by the World Bank's Guyana Petroleum Resources Governance and Management Project document. The bank is urging a different trend in relation to the oil and gas industry, as it warns that poor management of the sector often results in economic and social troubles for countries. Recent oil discoveries here have, however, prompted Guyana to pursue the establishment of a wealth fund, which was passed into law last year under the Natural Resource Act of 2021. And COVID-19 has taken the life of a 102-year-old woman of Region 4, as well as a 57-year-old man of the same region, the Ministry of Health has reported. This takes the total number of confirmed deaths from the pandemic to 1,266. All Guyanese are being encouraged to continue to observe the public health measures set out by the Ministry of Health. The public health measure encourages the need for everyone 5 years and older to get vaccinated against COVID-19, the need for everyone to get a COVID-19 booster dose after completing the primary vaccination series, the need for correct and consistent use of a face mask when leaving your home, the importance of maintaining a safe distance of 6 feet from others, and the need for good hand hygiene to help reduce the spread of the virus. And moving on, Mikhail Thaddeus McLennan could find himself spending 18 months behind bars for pretending to be a doctor because the Medical Council of Guyana will be filing a police complaint against him for his unlawful actions. Chairman of the Medical Council Board, Dr. Navindranath Rambaran, said the council has prepared a letter to the Commissioner of Police citing the reported infractions by Mr. McLennan. Dr. Rambaran noted that the council believes that McLennan has broken this law and has decided to file a police complaint against him. He pointed out that although the alleged fake doctor had been working for a non-governmental organization, such bodies are important stakeholders in Guyana's healthcare system because they provide medical services to the sick and suffering. The doctor is of the view that criminally investigating McLennan is necessary to deter potential imposters from following in his footsteps. He added that McLennan was not the first to pull this stunt in Guyana. And now let's tell you, the Environmental Protection Agency continues to boast of its capabilities to remotely monitor the flaring of gas by ExxonMobil. However, while the regulator claims to have hands on this information, the public is being denied access to it. This is the view of energy technologist Mr. Alfred Boulay. Boulay, who explained that transparency is a critical aspect in the governance of the oil and gas sector for several reasons, such as assuring the public that the company's operations are safely ongoing. Guyanese are, however, being denied this comfort of being assured of the safety of the activities ongoing in its backyard, as the EPA continues to deny the public of information as it regards to offshore natural gas flaring. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM, and this is the news at noon. We'll take a short break and return.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Wanting to protect your family during these difficult times of COVID-19 is natural.
Stay at home, wash your hands often, and don't touch your face.
Yes, Daddy.
But are you doing these things too? And do you practice social distancing? Do you keep 3 to 6 feet away when you're shopping? Or at least stay an arm's length away in the supermarket? Remember, children learn from adults. So if you're not obeying the precautions, neither will they. We have to work towards the new normal together to keep our families safe and protected. Be part of the solution, don't add to the problem. Teach by example and do the right things.
A message from the Child Care and Protection Agency, Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, and UNICEF.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. An Essequibo woman who went missing in Madia, Region 8 on Tuesday, July 5th, was murdered in one of the most brutal fashion. And as detectives try to solve the case, they are being led to believe that the heinous act could have been perpetrated by a man she and her husband had accepted in their home. The dead woman has been identified as 55-year-old Maniram Latifan, who hails from Lima Dam, Essequibo, Region 2, but she was living and working in Madia with her husband for a number of years. On Friday last, her relatives in Essequibo received graphic photos and were informed that their sister was brutally murdered, but they had doubts about the news. Police have, however, confirmed their fears that Latifan was killed in a gruesome manner. Their investigation into the woman's case began around 16 hours on July 5th last when her husband ran from their house at Salbura Bakdam, Madia, all the way to the police headquarters in the district just to report that his wife was missing. Meanwhile, a traffic rank attached to the Danamsta police station located on the west coast of Demerara on Saturday had to receive stitches to his right eye after being stoned by a suspect he had followed home. The wounded cop was identified as Lance Corporal Edmondson, and he received a break to his eye allegedly from a canter driver, Daniel Singh, better known as Anand. Edmondson was reportedly wounded by the suspect around 18 hours 15 at Anna Katharina on the west coast of Demerara. Edmondson told investigators that he was on traffic duty along the Anna Katharina public road when he saw Singh acting in a suspicious manner while driving his canter. He proceeded to stop the canter and asked Singh to produce the relevant legal documents for operating the vehicle. Instead of complying, the suspect allegedly drove away. Get the full details in today's Kaieteur News. Meanwhile, the government of Guyana said it has submitted a document to the UN responding to allegations of abuse being meted out to Amerindians. The government had up to July 15th to respond to allegations of human rights violations taking place in some indigenous hinterland communities. With the time now moving on to 12 hours 12, we wrap things up with the page 7 of today's Kaieteur News. Transparency, accountability, critical in a democracy. The government and president in particular boast on every public occasion of the good traits possessed by the administration. President Irfan Ali says his government is transparent and accessible, yet basic information is kept from the public regarding our oil and gas. If our people are to be brought up to speed on the development taking place in their backyard, access to information must be easy and not cumbersome. The Environmental Protection Agency is a glaring example of semi-autonomous body that has become totally dominated by the government. Our people no longer feel safe with this regulator hastily approving oil projects after oil projects without running details under the microscope. It is the eye of the public that should help fine-tune the permits being granted, yet concerns are ignored or merely noted. Kaieteur News will continue to call for transparency, especially in the management of our resources. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's Newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
Diana, join me on the Glenn Lal Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Glenn Lal Show only on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM.